Hey, crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and it has been, as always, kind of a crazy weekend. I hope that you all have had a calmer, relaxing weekend and that things are going uh, great for you, especially on the East Coast, right? It's getting to closer to that downtime, bedtime, but still not so much on the West Coast. Hey, Russ, welcome in. I have managed to have quite a busy weekend. You can see I am back in my craft room. Over the next couple of weeks, you'll see some changes. Actually, buying some different furniture, moving some things around, and that. So over the next couple of weeks, you'll see a new new kind of setup, hopefully for the lives in that. Hey, Katrina, welcome in. She said yesterday she spent with her three grandchildren and worked on pillowcases. That's an amazing day, right? Just being with the grandkids is always amazing. Hey, Jean, thanks for joining. Shirley, thanks for being there. She's up in hot and humid Wisconsin. I didn't know Wisconsin ever got hot, right? Every time I've been up around that state, it's always been very cool. I do not go in the wintertime, so I can't talk about that. Hey, JW, all right, let me put my glasses on. Thanks for joining in. Davila, Jay Davila. Hey, welcome in. Oh, Russ says he's trying to get something loaded on the long arm. That is the intent. That is my plan. I want to get through this month, and my intent starting in August is every Sunday morning to get up and work on at least one quilt that day. I have rolls. Look at the. I have two big, huge rolls of batting that I bought. One is actually bamboo, and this is warm and cozy, warm and fuzzy, whatever it's called. So I have everything ready. I just have to get the nerve up to full with it, and I just want to get everything situated, everything settled again, get my organization done, and once I get that, I'll be able to do that. Hey, Jody from PvP, my quilt club. Thanks so much for joining. Very much, thank you. So that's the plan, right? To get some of those things done. If you all did not know, you all are probably surprised. Um, that I like the holidays and I like Halloween and Christmas because I'm sure I've never shared that with you. Also, I tend to be a little bit of a keepsake ornament geek. And if you did not know or you had not been out this weekend, it is Hallmark Christmas in July Keepsake Ornament Club kickoff. So this weekend was our kickoff to the Christmas holidays and that. Believe it or not, I cut back. So this year I only bought 10 ornaments. I did not buy the 30 or 40 that I've bought in the past. So I did cut way back. And a lot of those ornaments are for my grandkids. They always get the granddaughter, grandson ornaments. My grandson got a Spider Man ornament. My granddaughter always gets a Barbie ornament. And then there's a few other in there, but there is a Scooby Doo because I have to have the Scooby Doo because I mean, that's just, you just got to have Scooby, right? I mean, come on. Hey, Katie, thanks for joining the Greenland Quilter. Um, Thanks, Jody. I miss being there. Yesterday was AccuQuilt Club for us at the Quilt Club. I did not get to go. Really wanted to, but I've just had so much going on. So I'm hoping if I can get through the next 2 weeks, get things rearranged here, get things going, things will be much different. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining. Welcome in. So we'll see how that goes. But it has just been so crazy. And I am hoping over the next couple of weeks, you'll see some changes, you'll see some things happening, and as such, we'll see if how things go. So, if you all know, I have a Nightbot loaded. It does not appear that it's working, so we'll see if John ever gets that figured out. It has been kind of crazy. So, but we'll get there, right? So I did Hallmark Ornament Club this weekend. That was a big thing. It see, this is the kid in me, right? So, and it's crazy because like the store, they even ask, so how adorable is a singing and dancing penguin? You have to have the singing and dancing penguin. So yes, I got my penguin again this year. I get that every year. And then it's crazy because the girls, the ladies at the store are like, "Oh, you getting that for your grandkids? You getting that?" No, I'm getting it for me. I'm the child of the my daughter will even tell you that I'm the child. And then of course, I have to have my snowman. And look how adorable it is this year with the doggy. So I just love these things. I have probably 15 of these now. We have a long table that I put these out on. And my daughter, every now and then I'll end up, especially if they have them left over after Christmas, like 90% off or something, I'll grab them and send them to my daughter. So my daughter has some, but not all of them. And it's funny because she's like, we had to take the batteries out because your grandson, every time he walks by it, thinks he's got to play it. And I'm like, he probably learned that or has that spirit that his grandfather has because every day I have to specifically go and walk by the table and push every one of them because I want to make sure they're all working and that they all stay active. So, yes, I end up spending a day um, early November putting batteries and all of these silly things. And then again in January, taking the batteries out for the next season. So, anyways. It could be quilting time, I know, but some of us are kids and we have to have our toys and that too. So just crazy. What else did I do? Oh, I did. I am going to work sewing tonight. I am actually going to sew. I'm still working on the French braids. So I want to get, hopefully, get that piecing done tonight. And look how cute this is turning out to be. So we had started that a couple of weeks ago on the last live when I was down here in the valley. So I am getting that going. Um, big news: BBMK is not on yet, but we have a store called 35th Avenue Sew and Back. They are the ones that has the Bill's Black Bag and all that kind of stuff. 2 weeks from now, we are having their Christmas in July special, and somebody may be bringing another toy home because we'll just see. But we'll see how that works out. But you just never know. It's so much stuff going on. See, Dale says, I love all the penguins. Bart says, good for me. Thank you very much. Sometimes we just got to take care of ourselves a little bit. Gene, I do think they're cute. I do think they're just adorable. Mm. All right, so I do want to sew tonight. Do want to get that project done. One of the things I will tell you, I um, heard Tim Totten talking on his channel the other day, and I ended up going on Amazon and buying it. So I very, very much like to use my little. I ended up going with the Aliso small, what I consider like a crafter's iron, especially when I'm doing lives and sitting here with you all. It's just the right size. I really like the handle. I just like everything about this iron. Makes me sometimes think, well, maybe I should have bought the bigger one, but I didn't. But Tim Totten was talking about you might really want to think about a reflective um, if you're ironing on a plastic table like I am. So I actually did go out and buy this. I got it off Amazon. It was only like 20 bucks. It wasn't that expensive. That I can still keep my wool mat on, but I don't have to worry about it ruining the table if for some reason it would go through. So for that investment, I mean, Lord, I think the table was like 40 bucks. You can't buy a cheap little table anymore. So, anyways, I did do that. So just kind of a safety call out to think about if you are doing some ironing in that on um, on a plastic table like that. I've not had any problems. I don't think I ever would because I just don't do that much, but it is what it is. Hey, Stephanie, thanks for joining tonight. I have your pattern, and it's sitting in the utility room in one of these baskets. But I've got the fabrics. I've got I think back quarters is the one I'm doing with you. So I have that all ready to cut out. I was productive this weekend. I did get some things done. Um, Fort Worth Fabrics came. I did end up, so where I said I wasn't going to buy anything, this was before that, just so you know. And I also, um, so it was before my moratorium that I wasn't going to really buy and spend a lot more money for a while. So this did just come, and I thought it was just too cute. I am really hung up on Christmas and that, as you know. And look what this is, just that old fashioned snowman, Midnight in Snowtown. And how cute is the panel? It's the complete full kit, which just means I don't have to stand in line and wait for people to cut and do all that silliness. So yes, I need to get the Halloween stuff going so I can get this going. But it is a day at a time, right? I can only do so much, but we will figure it out. Thanks, Barb. There was just something about this. I love the fact that they give me these big, huge paper clips. I use them for a lot of things. Um, so I'm starting to get spoiled, which means now I'm starting to see that I have several of those paper clips around, which means I'm probably spending too much money at Fort Worth Studios. But one of my YouTube friends got me started on Fort Worth Studios because I had not bought from them before, and then they text me and say like they're having a sale or they're doing this, and have you looked at that? And Russ says I've pondered that snowman kit a couple of times. It is just because I guess I'm old, right? I just like that old traditional. This just reminds me, I'm such a mid-century guy. I love that 50s, 60s vibe. And that's just what this reminds me of. Look how cute some of this fabric is. Oh, this is actually the panel. I don't want to open that because I'll never get that back in there. But look at I hope the blue is really showing up on the screen like I would hope it is. It's just that I don't even know what color blue to call that, but it's almost like a reef blue or something. But look at the little snowmans that go with it, the snowflakes. I mean, it's that bluish, tealish green. I mean, it's just the fabrics are just dynamic. I mean, look at this, that bright red. And then it's got the plaid, which is so 60s, right? It's just that old 60s plaid. But then look at the snowmen that go with that. And again, that blue background in that. How adorable is that? And then this for like the turquoise. Barb says turquoise. Yes, thank you. Sometimes I struggle with colors a little bit, which is interesting because I worked for a furniture company. So I think that's where I used not to have so much problems until every year they put out all these fabrics, upholstery, right, for furniture. And it's like, oh, well, that's called Kingston's Blue. And I was like, where did that? Yeah. Anyways, I digress. Look, see, this almost reminds me of the Dick and Jane book um, growing up in first grade that we read that's talked about. Um, and then again, see that blue? I mean, the colors are just too cute. The problem is now Russ is going to end up buying this and he'll have his done way before I ever get mine going. But that's okay. It's not a competition. There's not a race. We're all doing this for fun. All right, let me set this aside. What else did I work on today? Barb says it reminds me of the Christmas cards. It does. I do. I like that plaid. It's just so different. Hey, Melissa, welcome in. Thanks for joining. So Katie says, John, do you have a long arm? Hmm. So the story is about a year into this, I went and bought a Handy Quilter Sweet 16 sit down long arm. And I have learned a free motion on that, doing baby quilts and that. It's amazing. I love everything about it. And then Katie, last year I was able to get the Grace Unique 21 with QCT software. Literally, come August, I will have owned that a year, and I have done one quilt on it, which is very embarrassing to say because, in fact, last time I needed to work on it, I had to spend 30 minutes doing software updates. So the plan is, yes, to get it started, get it going, and I just got to make that happen. It's just too crazy. So we'll see. Melissa says very vintage Christmas. I love it. Yeah, it's like Dale says, very 50s and 60s. I've always been into that retro. Grease was one of my favorite movies just because of the music and all that, but I just love that 50s, 60s vibe. Bye Bye Birdie. Oh my God, I loved Bye Bye Birdie back in the day. So let me set this over here so we can keep progressing and making some movement. Oh, Nightbot just kicked in, so maybe Nightbot is going to work today for me. Hey, Stephen and or Walter, thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here tonight. Katrina says, Katie, he has a long arm project rest. It is really kind of sad, but we are going to make that work. I'm telling you. Of course, if I buy another machine, I may have to be working on that one too. So we'll get it all figured out, though, guys. We always do, right? Oh, so, and I was going to show you one other project that I worked on today. I was so excited. I got this Villa Rosa table runner out, and these ghosties are just too cute, right? And of course, it says you cut, you need three fabrics. You need a light fabric, a medium fabric, and a dark fabric. And as always, you want to make sure that you pay attention to how you're cutting and how you're putting things out. So I decided for my light fabric that I would go with this. So it's not quite white. It's kind of an off-white with the orange and black and gray polka dots. I thought that would really be cute for the ghost. I thought for the dark that this would really be cute. And so now I've got this going with this, and then I've got the orange to call out the eyes, right? So I thought this will really be cute. And then somebody keeps texting me that they've miscut some stuff and they've miscut stuff, and this has happened and that's happened. And so I get all of the candy corn cut, and I realize when I go to cut the medium fabric, which is supposed to be this one, that this one was my light fabric instead of this one. And of course, they're all totally different sizes. So instead, now my background fabric is going to be this one. My ghosts are going to be full of candy corn with big orange eyes. So this is going to be very John, and it's all cut and ready to go. And we will be working on that soon. And hopefully, in quite possibly, well, not the next live, but by the end of the month, you may see it, or I may work on it on a live. So we'll see how that plays out. So Melissa says it was a happy accident. And that's what I decided. I thought, everyone else can do white or pale white ghost. I'm doing black ghost, right? I want mine to be like they just ate a ton of candy corn, and that's what you're seeing. So, right, how adorable is that going to be? Melissa said the polka dots win. There was something about that combination, and I know you're all going to be really surprised. I actually shopped the fabric wall, and all of this was actually on my fabric wall, so I didn't even have to leave to go get that fabric. Russ says candy corn is a fat-free food. That is true. Unfortunately, the sugar that gets to be the problem, but yes, I believe it is actually a fat-free food. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Brian says the ghosts remind me of Pac-Man. I totally agree, and I think that's why another reason, right? We're talking retro. I think that's why I like them is because it does look very Pac-Man-ish to me. Um, but it is what it is. We'll make it happy. Oh, Nicolaj, hello. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate you joining the channel. As always, each and every one of you are appreciated. Channel continues to grow, which is just amazing to me. But um, we'll see. It's been, like I said, it's been a wild week. I want to get into some sewing. Be interested to know what projects have you all started at this point in the Halloween yet? Because I've got three, I think, Christmas quilts cut out, but I haven't put them in the rotation yet because I really do want to get some of this Halloween stuff done. So I'd be curious, have you all started looking at Halloween? I know a lot of people don't like Halloween. As you know, I do. I love Halloween. I like the colors so much. Um, but I also like just the fun Halloween. I'm not a creepy Halloween guy. I got to have the fun piece of it. All right, so let me get these laid out. I am going to move over. Hey guys, let me know if so I am sewing on my Viking tonight. I really am enjoying that. I'm trying to figure out what machines I like and what I want to piece and work on. This one seems to be working and making sense for me. I did get a so I cheated and actually bought a bath mat that is a memory foam bath mat, and we have a store called Bell's. It was only $7.99. I do think it's helped with the sound in that a little bit, but if not, just tell me. Just give me kind of a shout out word, and we'll see how that goes. Because Trina says no holiday work. I have a quilt to start when I get back from Williamsburg. Oh my goodness, she's going to Williamsburg. I love Williamsburg. I used to, because of course I lived in Virginia before I moved to Arizona, and I actually um, had a membership, had an annual pass to Busch Gardens, which is in Williamsburg. It's in Tampa, but they also had one in Williamsburg. Loved the one in Williamsburg, and every year they have a Toys for Tots. I think it's 5K, 5 mile. I can't remember, but they actually have a run through the park. So they do it. I think it's on Sunday morning, and you can go. It used to be like $40, and you could sign up. You got to run all through the park, but it started in the parking lot down by the tunnel thing. And then they always had good food in that. But what was always cool is they gave you a free ticket to their Christmas village and all that in the evening. So I love Williamsburg. There's so much history, so much historical stuff there, and it's just such a cool and very family place. Just not one of those crazy. Because I mean, I go from Williamsburg and love being there to occasionally going down to Narlands to Bourbon Street. Kind of like going down there too. So I um, I am a man of many mysteries. Hey, Jean, thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate you being here. Hey, Vera, I don't know if I said hi to you. Vera, I think, turned out safe through the hurricane and she actually got some project work done. So we are glad you are back and safe with us tonight. Barb says she's working on the fabrics as the crow flies mystery quilt. Funny, I just watched Stephanie earlier today talking about that and watching her do some work on that. I think it was Stephanie's channel. I'm almost sure it was. Melissa says she's working on that too. Katrina says last time she went to Busch Gardens, I was still living at home. Right? It's yeah, Busch Gardens is it's a fun place. Mm. I like Busch Gardens better than some of the regular amusement parks. The one in um, Williamsburg has themes, so you go through France, you go through Germany, you go through all the different countries, which kind of makes it cool. Um, and I think it's France that has the castle, um, and so they make that a haunted castle during Halloween and that. But for Christmas, the park is only open from like 5 at night till 10 at night. They do have rides open, but it can be very, very cold up in Williamsburg that time of year. But they do have the park open. They do have rides open, but they convert the castle where you can go through. They have an igloo thing that you go through and all that, but you end up like in this castle, and it is they bring penguins in. They actually ship penguins in. I think it's from SeaWorld, down in Orlando. But they bring so many penguins in every year, so it's always fun to go through and watch that. Barb says she has to watch Stephanie's tutorial each week before she even touches her blocks. I understand that. Stephanie is such a great instructor. She's so patient and just does such a nice job. And I also like YouTube because if I get a little behind, I can stop, I can rewind, and I can catch right back up. So she's an amazing instructor. And that's why I'm excited to do her first pattern. I have not done any of her patterns, but I do have one now to work on. So I am going to be working on that. Trina said there used to be a candle outlet that I love to visit. Yankee Candles has a big outlet in Williamsburg, and it's a big outlet. They actually let you dip your own taper candles if you want to make those. They do all kinds of fun stuff. Katie says I went to Busch Gardens. I'd be in the gardens itself. I can't ride rides anymore. Yeah, I don't like the rides like I used to. I used to love them when I was a kid, and not so much anymore. Curtis and I went a couple of years ago to. We decided to buy Magic Mountain season passes for Six Flags, and it just didn't go over so well. I realized I'm too large to fit in some of the rides, and just not healthy enough for some of them stomach wise. I was like, well, I don't remember that drop feeling like that back in the day. Steven says he's done several of her patterns and they are very, very well written. I'm anxious to get started on it. I forgot which one. I bought the Pinwheel Picnic, I think is the one I bought. Hmm. So I'm anxious to see how that works out. So always fun, 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 right? So let's get to sewing because I got to be productive, guys. It's just got to go back to work tomorrow. I got a big day tomorrow. I got so much to work on. And it's just really, I just need to retire. I keep hoping I'm going to retire. And then I look at how much I'm spending. I did stop two clubs now. So I did drop the Ginger Quilter monthly box, and I did drop the Sewers Club. Uh, Probably a couple of more that I need to drop because I surely don't need that many more projects. And then I started going through some of the patterns that I've got, and I found all these patterns that I bought that I want to work on that I thought were so cute, and yet I haven't touched them. And I was like, okay, you got to slow your roll a little bit. And besides, I need to get ready for QuiltCon because I am really, really excited for QuiltCon. Don't forget, QuiltCon registration opens on July 31st. I hope a lot of you are able to make it out to Phoenix. You could not come to Phoenix at a better time of year. Typically, our winters are pretty gorgeous. I will say the last 2 years, our winters have been a little cooler than I prefer. Cooler means that it's 40 in the morning and only gets up to like 63 during the day. Um, that frustrates me because I really don't complain a lot when you hear people here complain about um, the temperature being, um, 118 and all that kind of stuff. And, they talk about how hot it is here in the summertime. I don't complain because I don't mind the heat. I can't say I'm becoming less of a fan of it as I get older, but at the same time, I don't mind it because I want my winters. So when I wake up in the morning and it's 40 degrees, I'm not very happy about that because I just feel like that's very wrong in that I should be allowed to have a much milder winter than it is providing me. But we'll see. Stephanie, you are very welcome. There's nothing like the Yankee Candle Factory in the South Deerfield, Massachusetts. I spent too much there. I can imagine. I'm not a candle fan. I use the melts, and Yankee Candle actually makes a plastic melt cup that goes in a special holder, so you get the scent and everything. But what's nice is it stays in that plastic cup, So if you decide you want, as soon as you turn it off and it hardens overnight, you can trade it out with another one so you don't have all that mess in that. So I really like those. So that is what I use. I got away from candles a long time ago. I only have flameless candles because that's about all I can handle. Hey, Melissa, thanks for joining. I appreciate you being here tonight. It means a great deal. And if any of you are new subscribers, welcome in. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. It is just been amazing to see how the channel has grown in that. Um, if you don't know, I started this channel about a year ago in June, and really just started because there were so many great people out there doing some really good videos, but I felt like some of them sometimes um, it got a little intimidating because there's so many great quilters out there, and I just wanted folks to know if I could buy this machine and figure things out, that literally anyone could. Folks kind of made fun of me because I did go out and buy a Bernina machine. I did get it used. I had the machine, had everything all ready, and then had to try to find someone to give me lessons because I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I had the machine and I had bought thread and I had bought fabric. Um, it did all that and still didn't even have the pattern because I didn't realize I was going to need a quilting pattern at the time. So uh, I learned a whole lot in my first year. And so that's really to me what it's about. It's uh, getting over the fear and just understanding that this is a lot of fun. And, one of the things I've learned over time is it's my quilt, my rules. I do things that make me happy, I do things that I like. Other folks may look at it and go, I wouldn't have done it that way. But you know what? When you do yours, I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it differently. Just like I miscut that table runner. You know what? I'm going to make it work. I think at the end of the day, it'll still be a cute table runner. It's totally opposite of what I had planned for, but it'll be cute and it will either end up on my table or quite possibly my daughter's table because sometimes she ends up with a lot of stuff that I do. As she reminds me, I don't send her stuff nearly fast enough. I'm like, you just don't understand. Daddy doesn't always stitch fast enough. That's the problem. Melissa says, no shame in needing help. Um, I have seen the new Bernina 790 or 990. I have not seen the actual machine. I've seen the videos in that. I did go just this week to the quilt store, and they were telling me how amazing it is. Actually, the lady that I bought the Epic 2 from was telling me that she doesn't like Bernina. She's never been a Bernina fan because she was always she was actually a Viking, worked for a Viking, and she said if she had to buy a new machine today, instead of buying the Viking Epic 3, she would probably buy the Bernina now. So I was really surprised to hear her say that. So I will probably go look at it during Christmas in July. I am not in the market to spend that kind of money on a machine. I honestly have most of the machines I want. There is one or two out there that I would like to have. A Sashiko is one of them. So I would love to find a used one of those. And then there's another machine out there that I feel like it's calling John. So we'll see how that kind of stuff works out. But it's I think they all do what we need to do. For me at this point, it's really spending more time learning techniques, learning how to hold this 1/4 inch seam, which I never thought was a big deal. And then I learned not only is it a big deal that you hold the 1/4 inch seam, but then it's a big deal that you read the ruler correctly and that you understand how to read measurements. I will tell you, I was very frustrated, and I have EQ8 software, and I really want to learn that software and help design and do some things. But it's more really designing for me. I'm not interested in writing patterns and designing for other folks. So I would like to do that. But I will say this pattern frustrated me because I had to stop and really think about it because they use 3/8 measurements in here. And it's just like, why could you have not designed that to have a half inch, quarter? It's when you start playing with the eighths, that's where it really gets to me. I know I'm a new quilter. I know I still have so much to learn, but it is just, it's like you're complicating things for no reason. Russ says my sister complains she doesn't get things fast enough either. I send the comments back to her about her crochet. I think Russ is just a handful regardless. Melissa says it's huge. I got to see it live feed on it yesterday at our LQS Christmas in July. Yeah, see, I'm anxious to go see it in that. But honestly, I traded. I had the Bernina 790. I think it's the one I had. I had that in the Bernina 480, and I just never liked it. I didn't like the way it's stitched. It was complicated. It never. I don't know. That machine and I never got along. I actually traded that one, which was used when I got it. Um, but I did buy that used with the Bernina 480. Those were my first machines, but I ended up trading that for this Epic 2, and I love my Epic 2. There's just something about the Viking that I like. The Viking resonates with me. I like the big display on the side. I just like this machine. So I think at the end of the day, right, we've got to figure out what machine makes sense to us, and we have to do, you know, buy what's going to work and get the job done for us. I still like my Janome. I use it some. What I'm really hoping for as I get things turned around, I've got this one set up. It holds a 1/4 inch seam. It stitches really well, but because I've got the guide on it and some of that stuff, I got to move that around when I want it to. I don't know what that says. When I was working on the binding in that, and you got to cross the pieces and stitch it in that. I want to do that with my probably start doing that with my Juki, so I don't have to change things here and go back. So, because I have unfortunately too many machines, probably anyways. So it's just that kind of stuff that I'm learning. What machine I want to do what, and as I do that, I think it will make a lot more sense for me and make life a whole lot easier. So we'll see how all of that works out. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a day at a time, right? I mean, I can only do so much. I can only get so much done. Um, I will say I have told you all for a while on my channel. I love Villa Rosa. I love Villa Rosa patterns. I get at least 3 quilt patterns from them every month as part of the club, along with other things. Table runners and that. When they put them out, they don't always put those out each month. And now that I'm in doing more of their patterns, especially for me as a beginner. They're just so quick, so simple. They just resonate. They just make a lot of sense to me. I wish I had started with them first. I think I would have been a little further along than I was, probably, especially even when I was starting this channel. And I say that because the first 2 quilts I did were lap quilts. I did them for my grandchildren. They were Halloween, and they were 3-yard quilts. And fortunately, the lady that was teaching me had lots of patience because I couldn't begin to understand half the instructions. And I believe today I would still have trouble with some of the instructions for 3-yard quilts. I like the designs. I like the idea. I like, you know, the patterns, but I think their design or their um, personally, I think their instructions are very complicated. As an example, I read through Stephanie's the other day after I printed the PDF off in that, and her instructions are pretty crystal clear. I mean, very simple, something that makes sense, and something I could easily get into. So, because of that, um, that's what I'm looking for. So, see this, and again, this is a Villa Rosa pattern that I'm working on. Um, Jeannie says she's been working quilting for 8 years and she still hates patterns with eighths measurements. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just, especially with computerized and that, because I'm guessing a lot of them are, and I get, part of it's your seam allowance and all that. But I just thought, at the end of the day, I could probably take that, put that in EQ8, change that up a little bit, and I could have done that with quarter or half inch measurements. And um, came out with basically the same pattern, and it wouldn't have changed the overall size that much. So that's where my mindset is. But hey, we'll see. But there's just been so much going on. So this week, I have a lot going on at work. I'm excited because this is my last week of having a very small team. So I have two team members that'll be joining on July 22nd. So I've got that. I've got some movement and things that I'm doing that I need to get done. So I am actually going to be on vacation Friday. So even though I've got a lot going on tomorrow and probably Tuesday, I only have to work in the office 3 days, and I only have to go uh, actually to work 4 days. So I'm kind of excited to have a break again. That's my last break, unfortunately, until Labor Day. And but I just, I need more time to play. There's just so much out there and so much to do, and I just enjoy playing. I've always been kind of a child, and I just want to play. But unfortunately, I want to buy toys, and to buy toys, I have to have a job. I was very excited because I do play the lottery. I do play online. Woke up this morning with an email telling me that I had won the Powerball, and I was very excited. But I also knew what that probably meant. And yes, when I logged in and looked at it, it said, "Congratulations, you've won $4 on the Powerball," which wouldn't have been so bad except I bought a $6 ticket. So it's only $2 in the hole. But you know what? You can't win if you don't play. And just think of how much more I could stimulate the economy if I won the lottery. Problem is, I need to just quit stimulating the economy and work on what I have. And that is the plan. We are trying to get much better about doing less shopping. And by the way, uh, Hallmark doesn't count because I had already ordered all of that in April. So, see, I didn't violate my rule that I wasn't going to buy anything new, other than I did forget about Christmas in July coming up at 35th, and I will probably violate my rule just a little bit there so I can have some fun going on at their store because they always do have some really cool sales. And, you know, we just want to have cool things, right? I will tell you, I had, what did I do this week? Oh, um, I have finally broke down. I had a different AC company come out, ended up contracting with them so we could have, I'm putting in two mini split units to help my air conditioner. So even though I've got a new air conditioner and it does really, really well, and I'm actually keeping the house temperature wise much warmer than I ever did before. And to me, the number on the thermostat is just the number on the thermostat. I don't know how accurate it is. I just know that's what temperature I feel comfortable at. Because at the end of the day, I'll be honest, I just have to be comfortable, and I don't care what the number on the thermostat says. But the master bedroom is just so far from the unit itself, and my utility room where I cut and do everything is the other extreme. I am putting in mini splits, and hopefully we'll have those in the next couple of weeks, and that will hopefully help with the temperatures around here. The sad part is you really only need that about 3 months out of the year, but those 3 months you really need it. He told me that I'll actually see some savings in that, that I probably won't really see much change in the electric bill because they pull um, they pull less electricity, and because of that, they actually help. help with your big unit and that. So instead of trying to make my big unit do something it's just not really up for, I'll be able to do that and be able to um, sleep better at night. Because let me tell you, that main bedroom, I've got two big fans in there, including a Dyson fan, and it just gets hot. All right, so that is one set of strips. These need to get ironed. They do say iron to the dark side, I think is what the instruction says. I actually tend to do just the opposite because, of course, I can't do anything the way it says. So I actually open my seams. I really like having open seams on here. It just seems to make sense. And oh, fortunately, somebody moved my quarter inch because I was thinking, man, did I really just mess up that bad? So, no. So, I am still with a scant quarter inch. So, I am doing well, folks. And look, I at least have all these strips done. So, all I need to do is open and press those and iron those. So, Russ knows since I'm down in the valley tonight and I have witnesses, I will not be going out for my normal Sunday night dinner. Probably gonna make hamburgers or something tonight. I think is what's on the menu. Sometimes when I'm up in the Shady Pines and by myself, I have the privilege of having um, Dairy Queen. I like Dairy Queen blizzards sometimes, so not that I need it, but it is what it is. Mm. Melissa, thank you. See, I believe Hallmark does not count, right? I mean, there's just certain things you have to have. And the problem is, I've collected some of those ornaments for so long. I'm not going to stop that. Um, I think they're like at the 50th anniversary or 55th or something for Barbie. I don't even know how many Barbie ornaments they've had, but ever since my granddaughter was born, she's had that Barbie ornament and she'll have it as long as I'm around to give to her. So at some point, she'll have nothing but a Barbie ornament tree. And like I tell my daughter, take them out of the box, play with them. If she, breaks one or whatever, I don't care. I mean, I didn't buy them to be true collectors. I meant for them to be enjoyable memories of what goes on. My grandson's just the opposite. He's into action figures. And right now, his big action figure is Spider Man. So I'm good with that too. So fortunately, they make a Spider Man ornament. So that is always cool. Mm. Sorry, I will tell you, I stay so dehydrated and I keep thinking that I'm drinking enough water and I'm beginning to wonder living in this state if it's possible to drink enough water because it's like I feel like that's all I do is just drink water. And I'm actually buying the alkaline water, which says it's supposed to be so much better for you as far as keeping you hydrated in that, but it doesn't seem to be really making a big difference. So this is one set of squares that I end up cutting and making, and I love these goofy pumpkins that are on here, but that'll pair up with these. So I just think this is going to be such a dynamic um, quilt when I get it done. So that is the pattern that I'm working off of called French Braids. Melissa Milliken did that for Villa Rosa Designs, and I do think it is adorable. One, two, three. Yeah, I think there's 4 panels each time. So let's see. Oh, sorry, guys. I like to think I'm very organized, and then I realize sometimes I'm not near as organized as I'd like to give myself credit. Um, All right, Russ said something. Let's see what I'm in trouble for now. I got the back loaded on my long arm. It almost deserves an ice cream, but I don't want to put public clothes on. I'm not even going to ask the difference between public and home clothes, but yes, I totally understand. Mhm. Russ says alkaline water is shenanigans. Russ always knows how to give me a little giggle. Katrina says she used to French braid her hair for camping trips. Um, how crazy is that? I So Nightbot came up with something. I'm not sure what that is. Like I said, I just joined and got Nightbot working. So Melissa, I'm not sure why it's saying what it is. I will tell you, I did. I see that it's not nice tonight. So this is actually the first time I've had Nightbot on the channel. So it's probably has a lot to do with me and trying to get the right settings. So I will definitely take a look at that afterwards. I was going to say Katrina. Interesting enough, when I was married, my daughter was very young. She used to love to have her hair French braided, and I remember when my wife at the time needed to go spend a couple of weeks with her mother. I ended up having the two children by myself, so she could really just go up and focus on her mom. And the first thing we would do is on Monday morning we would run her over to the beautician, hairstylist that I knew, and they would French braid her hair for us. And it was amazing because it always stayed in for a week or so, and I didn't have to fool with hair uh, while my wife was out of town. Russ says Nightbot is very strict on the basic setup, and that is probably, like I said, Melissa, it's probably me. So I will definitely go in and look at some of those settings and figure out what's going on because I do because I wanted to get Nightbot set up because the nice thing is you can do giveaways and some of that stuff. I would definitely like to start doing some raffles here and there, especially once we hit 1,000 subscribers. I think that's a big time for celebration. It's not like I don't have some quilt kits and things that I might be able to give away, and so that's what I'm working toward. So that was one reason to get Nightbot, um, and also for some other reasons. But I think you all will learn that I'm not. I like to think I'm technically savvy, but I'm one of those end users that just learn by osmosis. So I go in and just plug and play when it comes to computer stuff. I unfortunately had a IT guy years ago tell me, look, there's nothing that you can't do in the system that we can't fix. I do think there was a point in time that he regretted that statement and found out that there was probably some things John could go in a system and do, and not um, he could fix it. It just was a little bit more difficult than he thought it was going to be because that was back in the day when we had digital, and that was going to be that was long before PCs were kicking in. That's where we thought we'd have network systems and not individual PCs that would run our business. And man, how did that time change so quickly? Gail said, John, she's using the at sign and thinks she is posting links. Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. That makes sense. But again, I don't know why it does that. So again, I still have a lot to learn, guys, when it comes to that. So just be patient with me. Any little help helps. So I am always there, um, always here to learn, right? That's what YouTube's all about for me. Mm. All right, I would definitely like to get one more strip done. Look at this. I mean, how do you not think these goofy pumpkins are not just adorable, right? Just love that. And then I paired it with the spiders, and I even think the spider is cute. Now, let's hope it's not a black widow. That's a whole different spider, right? So that's not there's nothing cute about a black widow. And living in Virginia, let me tell you, when you keep your shoes in the closet and that, you learn to um, kick your shoes before you put them on and make sure what you're stepping into. Of course, they tell me the same thing here in Arizona, which I don't, like I probably should. Fortunately, I've only seen one scorpion, and it was not anywhere where I was living. It was at a friend's house, actually before I transferred and got out here. And he kept it for me because he kept it under a glass because he wanted me to see what a scorpion looked like live. So it was very interesting. But somewhat appreciate it too, because I mean, he really was just trying to educate me, but it's like, yeah, there's other ways to educate me. We have Google, you know, if you got Google, you don't need much else. But anyways, I have fortunately not seen a scorpion here. Actually, the exterminators were here the other day to do my 1 year termite inspection and all that stuff. And we were talking about scorpions. And apparently, for my part of Phoenix, where I'm at, out here in the Sun Cities, it's very unusual to see a scorpion out here. I say that, and yet every day I can look out my window and see coyotes walking everywhere. And at least once a week or so, I see the bobcat walking up and down the street. So we do have enough wildlife uh, to pique your interest out here. The coyotes don't bother me because they tend not to be aggressive in that. Unfortunately, they like the little baby bunnies that stay in my yard, and the bunnies are just so cute. But I'm not as inclined. I don't like the bobcat. It's a beautiful animal, but I'm less trustworthy with the bobcat than I am the coyote, which probably makes no logical sense whatsoever. But I just can't help it. It just seems much more intimidating or more fierce for me for some reason. Um, I don't know. Hey, be curious what you're all watching. I'm trying to watch a lot more YouTubes than that and trying to keep up with other channels, but I will tell you I have seen um, I just watched Celine Dion the other day. I think it's on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, it was an amazing special. So if you have not seen that, it is definitely worth your time to tune in and see what's going on with her. I had no idea all the health issues in that she was going through. All right, let's go back a little bit. I've missed a lot of chat. Y'all been chatty tonight. Look at you. Barb says, I remember working in the offices in the 70s when we used 10-inch floppy disk, right? And it was a big deal because we went from the big 10-inch floppy to the 3.5 inch. And they actually had hard sides in that. Sad part is I still have a lot of those with embroidery patterns. Chris says, I remember using DOS. I do remember DOS, but we had a software that you were able to code and work in the DOS commands, and then you could just basically punch a button. So it was kind of pre Bill Gates. I remember that. Dale says, yes, boxes and boxes of them. Yeah, unfortunately, I still have some boxes of the 3.5 inch. Trina says we had to watch out for brown recluse spiders. I still beat my shoes that have been in the closet for a while. I do, it's just funny. You just, it's what we get used to, right? And so I know people think that's silly, but it's like if you've ever seen some of those bites, I mean, and I think the brown recluse is the one that leaves like a big, huge wound, it like eats part of your skin and all that. It's just, it's nasty. You just don't realize. Dale says, I remember the punch cards. Chris says, Dale ever drop a stack? Oh, can you imagine dropping a stack of those? I remember in college, I was a business minor. So communications actually was my major, which is kind of funny that I ended up starting a YouTube channel this many years later because my major in college was radio and television communications. I did not pursue that afterwards. Somehow I ended up in what I really wanted to do was public relations work, and somehow public relations work turned into human resources. So I have been in human resources pretty much my entire career. But I remember as a business minor, I had to take a programming class. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this is just such the opposite of my brain. So being such a creative, person in that, I could not get programming. Fortunately, I only had to take the one class. Very fortunately, the instructor was really cute, a super nice guy. Funny thing is, he had a crush on my wife at the time, and so he actually helped me a lot in that class and made a big difference. And it's funny how you remember different things about instructors. And he was just a genuinely nice guy. He probably was 5 years older than me in college. Um, but he made something that was really complicated that I knew I didn't want to do, that I didn't truly understand. But he gave me what I should have walked out of that class with, and that was a good foundation to understand programming, what's involved, and enough to know I never wanted to do it, but yet um, he did help me understand and kind of advance. So, yeah, that's the kind of instructors we all hope for, right? But we don't always get those. Oh, Dale says somewhere around here I have a Texas Instrument T1. I remember my Texas Instruments, and if you took the right math class, you had to have that calculator. Lord, that's, I mean, you talk about a blast from the past, but that was a big deal having those calculators back in the day and that. And then they became solar, so you didn't have to have batteries all the time. And it's just funny. I mean, it's my mother, who I think is 92, 93, is now in assisted living, I hear, but still has her phone, kitchen phone on the wall, still works. She still has the landline and that, even though she pretty much always uses her cell phone. And, but, she's had that number, that phone number, probably 60 years, maybe 70 years. And I remember her being very frustrated at one point because the phone company had told her that as of a certain date, she had to get rid of that phone and she had to have um, the punch digital phone, that she could no longer have the rotary phone. And she still has her avocado green rotary phone that she leased from Ma Bell for probably 30 years and paid for that phone 20 times over. And I think when they changed her out to the digital, they gave her the phone. But I was like, yeah, you should have gave her the phone 20 years earlier. But it's just so funny. I remember, all the long distance and all the stuff that we had to deal with back in the day, trying to find a place to, who had the best rates so we could call here or call there. And now we just pick up a phone and dial anywhere in the country, and we don't even think about it anymore. Just how much technology has changed our lives, but yet still seems expensive depending on what you're doing. We just found new ways to spend them, to get a bill for something different um, than long distance now. I tell you what, some of those cell phone bills that I know our friends have are just ridiculous. Barb says her mom still had the phone on the wall, and hers was avocado green. I remember my mother had avocado green appliances. She also had that rust color, and I don't remember what the rust color is, but I know we went from the rust color into the modern avocado green. And my sister's first house had harvest gold. Just crazy. Yes, and I remember Pong, right? Who doesn't remember Pong? How crazy was that? That was a big deal when that game came out. Katrina says her mom and dad's were a black rotary. She kept it and had it in kindergarten class for kids to learn to play their numbers, right? Copper. Katrina's right. It was called copper. So mom had copper appliances and she went to harvest or avocado. And I remember she told me when she bought her last refrigerator that it was white and she would never own anything but white ever again because appliances get dated too quickly. I remember my first appliance was almond. I loved that almond color when it came out. It was so warm. And now we all gone to stainless steel. How crazy is that? Chris says, I still remember my grandmother's phone number, including the letters used for that. And her phone was a light pink to match her appliances. Yeah. And that's what's fun about Sun City here, being the original retirement community in that. They actually have a museum in that, and when you go through, Del Webb built all cement block homes here, and it has all pink appliances. It's just so really cool to go through. So, guys, I so appreciate you joining. I really appreciate the chat tonight. I appreciate that you listened to me rattle on. I am going to get more work done on this quilt, and hopefully, you'll see some real progress by the time we get together next Sunday. But with that said, I appreciate any and all subscribers, any new subscribers. That just means so much to me. Hey, Sally, thanks for joining in. Hopefully, you'll catch the replay because we always love having you be here. So, but I am going to jump off. We're just over the hour. Maybe in the next few weeks, as we get things rearranged in that, we might start going out to like 90 minutes, maybe longer. We'll see what everybody thinks. But I so appreciate you dropping in. And as always, until next time, happy crafting.